if you disappeared tomorrow, would anybody care? Because if they can immediately go replace you with another company that does the exact same thing, that's great. If they can't, then you're onto something.
AI isn't just changing dentistry, it's completely redefining it. Tune into Bite-sized Podcast, the dental AI and tech podcast, and stay ahead of the curve.
Welcome back to another episode of the Byte-sized Podcast. My name's Adrian. I've got Reid Holmes on here with us today. And let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to be discussing. So if your dental practice doesn't have a clearly defined brand, then that one that goes even beyond kind of like what you do, then AI search tools will probably ignore you. It's kind of the new reality of AI search. Traditional SEO asks, can you be found? And AI search is about being cited or recommended. So today we're going to break this down. We're going to talk about exactly what that means and why commoditized messaging is just no good anymore. You really have to differentiate yourself with a brand sense-making kind of process. So Reid popped up on my TikTok For You page because I am neck deep in this AI SEO stuff. And he's a brand strategist. I really love this stuff on TikTok. I thought I got to bring this guy on. He really knows what he's talking about. And he's an author of a book called 10 Reasons Why Brand Meaning is Critical in an AI World. And he helps companies and businesses escape commoditized messaging by building appreciated brands. And we'll have him just kind of tell us a little bit about that. And appreciated brands are brands that people want to talk about. So that's the idea, getting people to talk about you. So his brand appreciation pyramid, which I'm going to want you to share and maybe share your screen on at some point in the presentation or the podcast here, is a framework that focuses on how you can solve and stand for, or it just describes what you can solve and stand for rather than just what you do. So welcome to the podcast, Reid. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. How'd you get into this game?
Thanks, Adrian. I appreciate you having me, and it's great to be here. And I like your hat. I want it. But
this is a call out to get my backwards here. This is a call out to our Bob Weir, who passed away about 3 weeks ago from the Grateful Dead. So
I've been in the advertising business for 30 years. I was a copywriter. I started as a copywriter at an ad agency in Chicago. I went on to work as an associate creative director at an agency in Detroit area, came up to Minnesota, Twin Cities. Now it's been 30 years. I've been here as a executive creative director for 18 of those years. Met a girl, got married, have 3 kids. She's from St. Paul. Ain't no me leaving now. So, but I love her, and we have a great life and 3 great kids, all of whom have gone through high school, and 2 of them are finishing up college. One is out off the payroll. So it's all good.
Nice.
And, for me, the emergence of AI kind of coincided with my desire to want to do something more important for the world than interrupt people with ads. And this is something, when I saw my kids graduating, I was like, gosh, what am I doing to make these guys are going out into a world that I have basically not done much to help make better. So that might be kind of harsh on myself, but I really kind of maybe it's a midlife thing. I don't know, but I just was like, what else can I do? Because this whole idea of ad interruption, the model is saturated. And, there's data by a company called Yankelovich that says we're all hit with 10,000 interruptions a day. How do human beings make sense of all that? How do they file these things away and decide what matters to them? And so I wrote a book called Appreciated Branding. This is the book here.
We'll put a link in the description for your book so people can go buy it. Okay.
Yeah. So it's on Amazon. Just search Appreciated Branding if you can't wait. But the book is about how it's important to mean something, and I guess the flip is advertisers have spent millions and billions of dollars trying to get people to care about them. And I think the difference now is you have to prove to your customers that you as a business care about them, uh, and not trying to get them to care about you. I fucked
Got
that.
it.
I'm sorry, I screwed that up.
No, you
Essentially,
can swear. By the way, you can swear on this
okay,
podcast,
good.
so go right
Uh,
ahead.
Good. Um, my point is that advertisers spend money saying, "Here's why you should care about us." They don't spend money saying, "Here's why we care about you." And it's
Got
a
it.
shift. And if you can get people to understand that you care about them, they will pay more attention to you.
Right.
They will file you away as a future source of a solution that they might need in their life. Dentists being among, probably the top 10 that anyone would need in any given moment, uh, is someone who can either prevent, issues with the dental, with the teeth, or fix ones when they come along. So um, I think the way people choose these things is outdated, from dentistry to the laundry detergent, because the times have changed to the point where there are so many solutions out there, that decisions are either being made by price, or they're being made by some type of recommendation, word of mouth,
Right. Yeah.
which means someone has decided to experience a certain dental practice or brand, and essentially rolled the dice, maybe not even knowing what to expect.
Right.
Because it is a commoditized category. A lot of people don't think much about it. And I've had, and I don't want to get too much into dentistry now, but I obviously have had many decades of dentistry,
Dental work.
dental work, and some are have been better than others. Some I'm like, okay, I'm not going back to this guy. Some have been like, oh, okay, this person really cares and is trying to be proactive about my care. Or, these guys are lecturing me. These guys are, at least giving me a shit sandwich of like, here's what you're doing right, here's what you could be doing better.
Yeah.
And so, it's bedside manner in a sense. But the point is, when people are forced to choose something that is a commodity, the smart providers of those services are giving them a bigger reason than just the functional benefits of it.
Right.
And that's what it turns out AI is looking for. That's what surfacing and AI search is looking for.
What's fundamentally changed in the way that, what is AI search, ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Perplexity, large language models? What are they looking at that's different, or what are they doing that's different than traditional SEO?
SEO, I call it kind of the yellow pages of the internet. You can buy more, what's the word? You can pay to be more visible with SEO.
Okay.
Wait,
hold on.
Well,
What
there's
do you mean
organic.
by that?
There's organic SEO, which is
Right.
you type into a Google window, "I'm looking for a dentist," and it
When you
will
pop up in the link.
come up with. It'll know where you are, and it'll pop up, a bunch of dentists. Some dentists might pay to be served up sooner, and that is
ads.
paid. That's
With
paid
ads.
SEO. Yeah, it's a paid
Okay.
search, and you can call it an ad, or it's a paid result that puts you
Right.
ahead of everybody who didn't pay. That is really just like buying a bigger ad in the phone book, essentially.
Right.
So, but it doesn't really do anything to speak to the values and mission and vision of that business. SEO doesn't do that. And SEO, because people are going from searching on SEO to searching on, let's say, a ChatGPT, ChatGPT doesn't crawl a website for terms that help it serve you up as a solution. I'm looking for a dentist. Okay, I'm going to go and search. So Google goes, okay, here we are in Puxatawny, it was just Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, Puxatawny, Pennsylvania. We're looking for dentists. We're looking, this is what they've put in. So here's our solution. You put that into an SEO or a ChatGPT thing, particularly if you've used it a lot,
Right.
it's going to have context about who you are and what you value and what you care about. So it's going to try to please you with its solution based on your values and your, what it knows about you.
How does it do that though? Hold on. How does it do that? How does ChatGPT understand my values through my account?
Because it starts to understand what you've searched. Well, the free version doesn't necessarily do that, but if you have a paid version, it starts to understand. Like, for example, I use ChatGPT. I've uploaded my book. I've uploaded a lot of my TikToks. I've uploaded my newsletters. I've uploaded all this stuff, so it knows when I say in a search or a query, knowing what I care about, help me, create an outline for a new newsletter that I'm going to write, and it'll give me an outline and I'll say, okay, I don't like that. Or that's, you're getting close to what I care about, but not necessarily. Search can't do that. Search isn't going to do, it's not going to have the contextual cues about who's doing the searching, essentially.
I have a question about this. So when you say upload your TikToks, are you saying uploading your TikTok videos into your ChatGPT account, or just online, and the AI is able to see the content that you've published and relate that back to your ChatGPT, your own personal ChatGPT queries?
The latter.
Are you uploading them, or that's it?
Yeah. So you'll go on ChatGPT and say, my TikTok account is this. I would like you to look at my 10 most viewed videos and tell me what you think people are really looking for from me, so that so I can do more content that's more valuable to them. That's one example.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I get it now.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that AI search versus traditional search. So the old Google's, I call it old, it's still there, but it's going away. Yeah. Traditional search is really kind of like mirroring queries in the search phrase to maybe a website or a page that's relatable to that query. But AI search is looking at more of a personalized experience. It understands more about the person searching as well as the brand, I would imagine.
It's a regular SEO search is looking for keywords.
Okay.
For the last 20, 25 years of the internet, writing a website meant making sure that you were including keywords that would surface your website as a link that then humans could go to and browse. That's why they call them browsers, right? So with AI, it's looking for meaning. So it's going to look at your website and not search for keywords. It's going to look for combinations of words or things that say, oh, this is what I think my user cares about.
Got it.
In terms of more of an emotional meaning. And I'm going to surface them as one of my top 3. And this all happens obviously in a second, because it goes out there and it just does this stuff. I
actually have an example of this that I've just thought about.
Okay.
So there was a dentist. I don't know this gentleman personally. I just found him online, but he called his business, his dental practice, I think he's down in Texas somewhere, best dentist dentist near me. That's the name of his practice, right? dentistnearme.com. And his business, Google business profile was dentist near me. Everything was dentist near me because he wanted to optimize for that main keyword, dentist near me. So if somebody searched who's a dentist near me in traditional search, it related that query very closely to the name of his practice, which is such a stupid name. You can tell it's an SEO optimized, traditional SEO optimized site. But what you're saying is that now an AI would see the title and go, well, that's not as relevant as it used to be. Let's see what this guy's really about.
I mean, dentist near me would be like, okay, well, if your top value is location, maybe it would get surfaced, but it's going to look for something deeper than that.
Got it.
You remind me of, I worked on there was a this is before the internet. So, but I worked on a campaign for a company called, that was a electronics and appliances company in Michigan called ABC Warehouse. And I asked the owner, I said, why'd you name it ABC Warehouse? He said, because I wanted it to be the first in the phone book.
Yeah,
You know,
AAA sewing and vac, AAA,
yeah,
blah, blah,
yeah.
blah.
And so, that's a strategy. You have to build meaning around that for people to understand what you care about. And that's what I was doing with him for his paid advertising. But now there's an interpreter in between, and that's AI. If you go to AI, you'll get results that are more in tune to your values.
And this is primarily driven because AI search just has the capability now to understand context and meaning.
Yes, context.
Whereas before, there was no context and meaning. It was strictly keyword searching.
Well, I would say the contexts were rational. So yes, location is context, but that's a very rational promise. The functionality of a practice, we do, fillings, and we do cleanings, and we do whatever. Okay, those are functional benefits. The way to differentiate any product these days is not through the functional benefits, particularly when every category is so saturated. There are 5 dentists any given person can go to on any given day. Obviously, there's momentum that gets established when you've already got a relationship with a certain dentist, and you've either liked them or you don't. You're back in the market to find a new one. But with AI and with AI search, AI models synthesize patterns. And if your point of view as a company or as a brand is vague, you just dissolve into averages. If it's sharp and repeated, you become more referenceable. And that's the difference between AI and, SEO. If an LLM summarized your website in one sentence, would it sound like everybody else's?
Okay, so it's commoditized messaging is what you're getting at.
Yeah.
So in your book, you talk about building a brand. Okay. In the dental industry, I've talked to thousands and thousands and thousands of dentists, and this is no jab at dentistry. I think this is a jab at just understanding about marketing. But dentists kind of think generally that branding is like a logo and a color palette. And that's kind of it. It's just, it's a visual brand, right? Is what they relate that to. And you have taken that idea, and I know you're not the only person saying this, but you really break it down pretty well in our previous conversations. Mm-hmm. Tell me what the difference is between building a brand versus just marketing.
Well, a lot of people think a brand is just a logo, but that's like saying that your wife is just a face. There's so much more to it, right? There's who she is, how she behaves, right? That you appreciate about her, that you love about her, that create.
You better hurry up connection. And you build on it. Keep going.
Well, no, maybe it's a horrible analogy, but the point is that the icon that represents meaning is not what the meaning is. It's the representation of the meaning. So a logo triggers those emotional cues. And if there are no emotional cues to trigger, then it's just an ignored logo. You might have a great logo. It might be beautiful. People might go, oh, that's a great logo. But what does it mean to me? What is the deeper meaning behind it? That's what a brand is. And so you need to establish that. You need to be, if you don't do that, you'll either be ignored, invisible, or others will define you. And
I think what's so important about this is going back to this capability of AI to understand meaning now. And so that's being injected into all of the search process. So if you can't create meaning, then it doesn't, you're almost invisible, it seems like.
Yeah, you have to be, you have to chunk out your meaning, and that's what AI looks for.
Can you show your brand pyramid? Can you share your
Oh,
screen
sure. Yeah.
and show your brand pyramid? Because I think that when you showed that to me, it made it very, very clear as to what that shift is. And you even showed me a case study on, I think it was laundry detergent case study.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe walk through this, because I think it really elicits and breaks it down, and it makes so much sense when you start looking at it in the way that you've built this presentation or this explanation
Sure.
document.
Sure. Okay. So this is kind of an initial thing. This is probably module 1 about my that I generally sell in my process. But this is the brand appreciation pyramid, and
Right.
you have basically what is the expected and rational. Oftentimes, that's the unique selling proposition, which
Right.
was invented by a guy named Rosser Reeves in the 20s. 20s last year, 100-year 20s.
Got it.
And it was like, it's like softens your hands while you do the dishes, or it's a floor polish and a dessert topping. It's SNL shout out there, but it's something that is unique but expected and a very rational promise. So what's happened is that categories have become so full of options that they're all what I call solution saturation. So we're looking right now at a I don't know, a Walmart or something, where it's all these laundry detergents, and there's so many solutions that people just choose based on cost usually, or some other minor brand thing like scent, or
Right.
I don't know that anybody chooses a laundry detergent anymore based on how well it cleans. They all do a pretty good job.
Right.
But what happens is when you're in this crowded category, like a dentistry category, it really becomes something I call the plateau of indifference, where it's just like, well, I don't care which one. I just need this problem solved right now. If you give people a reason to care about you for more than just your functional benefits, you create a huge business advantage for yourself, what I call an unfair advantage, because most companies don't get this. They don't understand that if they talk about themselves in a way that makes them want to be chosen for an emotional reason, they're doing two things. They're tuning themselves up for better selection by other human beings, by potential customers, and they're tuning themselves up for better selection by AI, because that's what AI is looking for. So,
Got it.
let me get to.
I would say that there's a lot of indifference in dentistry.
Yeah,
It's the same word fodder over and over and over again.
yeah. And so when you look at this, the brand appreciation pyramid, one of the things I talk about is, well, what do you say that is rational? Well, you talk about your product and service benefits. We do this, we do this, we do this. The functionality or buying incentives are things you might do. So you might say, well, we take all the insurance, or whatever. The product solution, or what you solve in dentistry, everybody solves the same problem, essentially. So then the question becomes, how do you break away from the pack of solutions where people are just looking for what is a commoditized solution? And the answer to that is what I call a unique appreciated solution. How are you looking at the world in a different way? How are you looking at an issue that human beings are facing that they haven't thought they need the solution to, or they didn't realize someone could help them with? Then from that, you create resonating brand experiences, either in how you go about delivering your service, or in the kind of content you offer out into the world, which, by the way, will line up with your values that are espoused on your website, which will make AI very happy. And then you solve bigger values-based problems with bigger values-based solutions. So if you look at this, the kind of the simpler way to think about this is, you're either talking about the product or the service and talking about why people should care about it, or you're talking about the customer and why you care about them. And that's the big shift. So when we get to this, you asked about the detergent. So Ariel detergent is a brand of detergent in India, and they were their main competitor was Surf detergent, and I think both of them went head to head. One spending a bunch of money to get a little left right of the decimal point growth, and then next quarter another one spends a bunch of money to get a little right to get that share back or whatever. It was just like a what is the term? Well, it was like the agencies were selling the munitions and very happy to rearm everybody, but it's an arms
agencies
race.
Are making the money.
But the agencies are making the money by trying to get people to care about these brands. And Ariel finally said, gosh, maybe there's a different way. And so they found a data point that said 92% of the population still thought laundry was a woman's job. That's kind of a problem. Right out of the gate.
Is it really?
Well,
I mean, is it?
it is if you're let me actually, you know what? I should say that's an opportunity, not a problem. Because the opportunity is that they're not being heard, they're not being understood, they're not being seen, because they're already doing all this other stuff that women have to do. Work, answer emails, cook dinner, pick up all the toys, who knows what. So what these guys did is, okay, let's look at the brand appreciating period. They said, hey, brighter colors, whiter whites. And if we just put more money against that, maybe more people will come to us.
Get a lift. Yeah.
Let's invent something different that people will be attracted to. Laundry pods. Oh, okay, let's do that. And now it's no more drippy bottle and no more powder. Those are great, rational, appreciable things, but I don't think they're huge, levers to really get attention. What they ended up doing is they said, oh my gosh, based on this, maybe we should advocate for moms. Maybe we should ask everybody in the family to share the load and help with the laundry. Mom's working hard enough as it is. And speak to this idea of gender inequality and how it maybe needs to shift. What ended up happening is this Share the Load campaign, Is Laundry Only a Woman's Job? Their sales went up 76%.
Wow.
That doesn't come from talking about whiter whites or talking about colorful colors or even laundry pods. It's, oh my God, they see me, they hear me, they care about me, and they're helping me in my life because now my family understands that I could use a little help. So that's one example.
That's a brilliant example.
Yeah.
So they're focusing on the Well, I mean, going back to your pyramid, it's not what we do. It's how do we make our customers feel?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Great example. So with a dental practice, let's just riff on this for a second. Dental practice, let's say that they have pain-free technology. I mean, anxiety is a big issue in the dental industry. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. Maybe we won't come up with something, but pain-free or anxiety is an issue. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they could say, hey, we have this needle that has an antiseptic or some kind of a solution on it that when you inject it, it numbs at the same time. So you don't have to stick the needle in to get numb. It's numbing as it goes in. Okay. Or we have sedation dentistry, or we have nitrous, right? All things to reduce anxiety. These are all the things that we offer. If you were hired to work with a dental practice and this is an issue, what would be the first kind of questions you would ask to try and create, this is about the patient, not necessarily about what we offer. What would be some of what would be the process of trying to develop that messaging?
Well, I'd want to know what segment, how big the total addressable market is for people who are receptive to this message.
Okay.
What is the percentage of people who are really anxious.
Have anxiety?
Yeah, have anxiety. Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty high. It's pretty high. It's well over 50%.
Okay. So if that's the case, then that's a real marketing positioning opportunity, because you're talking about positioning a dentist as someone who is attuned to this as a problem. Now, a unique product, service, benefit is what you're talking about. Those are all rational, functional benefits.
Right.
The emotional and more appreciated benefit would probably be that anxiety side, not how it's delivered. So,
Got it.
like I can remember there was a dentist I used once called Gentle Dental. Like,
yeah,
oh, okay,
they're still around. They're still around.
So Gentle Dental. But I'm not saying change the name of your practice. But what I'm saying is, like, you'd have to find that unique appreciated solution. I have a whole process to figure this stuff out. That allows you to kind of go, oh, okay, so that's how we're differentiated. It sounds easy when it's just like, okay, 92% of the population still think laundry is a woman's job. Let's say 50% of the population freak out when they have to go to the dentist. Then
or don't go to the dentist because they're freaking out.
Right. Yeah. Right. You have an opportunity to say freak out free dentistry, or, I don't know. I mean, I'm just making stuff up, but, here's what we say. We're freak out free dentistry. What we do is we play really soothing music in the room. We have people with, maybe we use, what's that thing where you have sounds that calm people down?
It's like binaural kind of stuff. It's a certain resonance.
SFR or ASFR, whatever. But it's like these sounds where people use these noises, and that calms you down. And then we also have, you can choose the scent that you would like to be pumped into your room that might be more calming for you. And we do, and then when it comes to the actual process of doing the dentistry, where we make sure that everything is very clear, very well known. There's no surprises. We're going to be incredibly caring in how we deliver that care, and at the end, you're going to feel like you just went to the spa. I mean,
that's exactly what you're moving towards spa experience.
Yeah,
it's like don't have time to go to the beach. come to freak out free dentistry. And get the beach experience at the dental office. It's like shifting that experience of going into the dental office as the opposite of an anxiety driven kind of experience, right?
But you see how everything adds up. So the functional side, which people don't want to think about, is like, oh yeah, when we stick a needle in you, it's going to be more gentle. I don't want to think about anybody sticking a needle in me.
Yeah, right.
I want to think about, I'm going to go through an experience that is not going to make me highly anxious and highly and feel anxiety. And if you guys are the ones saying that that's what you do, then that's an emotional reason to go with you to solve this problem than with anybody else. And by the way, there's margin in this stuff too. Obviously, dentistry is covered mostly by, dental insurance plans and that kind of thing. And they only pay a certain amount, I'm sure. But there's opportunities to kind of go, if this is the way we do things, we ask for another $30 payment on top of it, because this is the experience we strive to deliver for you, to make sure that you're not just getting dentistry, you're getting a great experience.
I love it. So let me shift to kind of another concept here. So in one of the difficult things for dentists to kind of get over, this happens a lot, and not everybody's like this, but this is common, is that you want to be able to talk about yourself, but you don't want to be like chest thumping. You don't want to be like, we do this better than anybody else kind of thing, right? And dentists, and I think human beings generally, get uncomfortable when you get a little bit braggy, right? And in AI search, because AI has the ability to analyze lots of data, not just the data on your website, but they're reaching out into forums and reviews and things like that. They're beginning to understand how people think about you, and that's becoming part of the context of whether or not you get recommended or not, right? So my question is this: how does a dentist, what's the best way for a dentist to promote, brand, market themselves without this chest thumping kind of an idea? And if there's a couple ideas around that, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
I would start with, like, if you're going to be doing social, I would tell people, if they're very happy after their experience, to do a quick post, a quick video for us, and we can use that, we'd like to use in social, and maybe there's a spiff they get for that. I don't know.
Right.
Free bottle of mouthwash. I don't know. And that then becomes you not talking about yourself, but what reputation is not what you say about yourself. It's what others say about you. So, and, if there's a way to empower people to do that, if you say to them, hey, if you go on your socials and you just say, hey, I just was at the dentist and these guys are great, tag us so that we can thank you, and offer anybody a free thing if they want to try it. I mean, those are the kinds of things that that kind of social proof, where you're not rolling the dice, you're actually getting some kind of word of mouth, so to speak. Advocacy, because that's what social media does on steroids. Word of mouth has always been the most powerful form of advertising, but with social media now, you can see really quickly what other people think about certain businesses and topics and things like that. So
how much of that reputation social proof is influencing AI? Because it used to not. In traditional search, I mean, we have a social media product. We've sold thousands of social media products to dental practices. And the problem we've had in the past is that they're like, well, how am I getting patients from this? And we're like, it's tough. It's tough to really provide an ROI to social media activity, because you're really just trying to build followers and, hopefully get referrals and stuff. But now, it's well known that Instagram, Facebook, and I believe TikTok and a lot of other social media profiles are being indexed by the AI search engine. So they're looking at this stuff, right?
Yeah.
As part of the recommendation and contextual, building of your brand, or the way you see your brand. So how much of that is really influencing AI search, do you think?
AI looks at any source it can get on the internet to figure out what to think about you. So when people have a bad experience, they tend to go on like a Reddit or a Yelp and, try and prevent others from having to have that situation. You have to more incent them to talk about a good experience, because that's what people expect, is a good experience. But as I mentioned earlier, your website is the center of 4 or 5 concentric circles. What you say about yourself on your website then gets checked by AI with what your content says about who you are.
Okay.
That has to line up. You have to be walking the talk. The next concentric circle is essentially let me see. Yeah. So it's influencers and user generated content. So who's out there and what are they saying about you? I haven't looked into dentistry and how much chatter there is about that kind of thing, but there is some chatter. You probably know better than I do, Adrian, but influencers and user generated content, you can incent people to want to talk to you about it. There's affiliate marketing. I don't know how much of that might play into dentists' practices.
Not much. Not with affiliate marketing. Yeah.
But the next concentric circle is customer experience. It's going to compare notes. So it's going to go look at Reddit and Yelp and Google reviews and even LinkedIn and Facebook and other social platforms to go, are these guys who they say they are? That's where this pays off, because if you're not lining up, you will not be surfaced. So why am I doing this? Am I getting more customers? A different way to look at that is if you're not doing that, you might be ceding ground to another dentist who is lining up on all those things.
Got it.
So it's kind of,
so it has to, it's referencing all these layers out, and they have to reference back and justify the claims that you're making. So it's not just about I mean, you can say whatever you want on your website, right? But if everybody else is talking about you and it's not substantiating those claims, it recognizes the conflict or a disassociation.
exactly.
And it won't say what you say you are.
That's right.
Is that fair?
If it doesn't line up, then it's not credible. I think AI is getting better at sniffing out self-promotion. It favors evidence of real world signals, that what you say you are is who you are. AI recommendation engines generally weight demonstrated usefulness over self-proclaimed claims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that makes sense, because the patient inquiring through Gemini or ChatGPT or whatever it might be, and wanting a valuable result. I mean, if you were the owner of ChatGPT, you would probably not. I mean, you look at what they have on their site and what they say about themselves and the claims that they make, but because you have the capability of referencing all this other content to like support it, you would absolutely put that into the algorithm in order to provide the best result for the patient, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean,
if you were the guy building the algorithm and you wanted to get the best result to the query, the person putting the query in, you're going to want to look at all that stuff.
absolutely. And that's the way AI is built. The first thing it's going to say is, great question. Wow, you're really onto something here. I mean, it aims to please, right? It blows, what do they call it now? The kids call it glazing. We used to call it blowing
I've never
smoke.
heard that. Glazing?
Yeah.
Oh, blowing smoke. Okay, gotcha.
Blowing smoke, but they're going, why are you glazing me? And I go in and I tell the ChatGPT, be clear, be consistent. Don't try to tell me what you think I want to hear. I want the truth. I want an honest takeaway. I want you to be a challenger, not a pleaser. And once you tell it that, it should be on that page with you. And I still get the thing when I ask questions like, oh, you're really onto something here. It's just like, come on, but that's the way the algorithm is planned. It wants to please. It wants to solve problems for you. That's how I think these guys who are creating it are preserving their future. If AI came back and said, that's the dumbest question I ever heard, who would want to go back and use it? So
right.
AI recommendation engines increasingly weight demonstrated usefulness over just claims. The bigger question, I think, for any brand and any company is, and this is AI, this is no AI, this is just being a business. And I ask this question of my clients: if you disappeared tomorrow, would anybody care?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they can immediately go replace you with another company that does the exact same thing, that's great. Right. If they can't, then you're onto something. I personally, if Apple went away, I would freak out. I do not know how to use a PC. I've always used Apple products. I'm now part of that big ecosystem. They have made my life better by virtue of how they design their products and how they all work together. If they went away, I would have a big problem. That said, if Dell Computer went away, people would go buy HPs.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the same thing. So what are you doing as a dental practice where if you said, you know what, we're going out of business, you wouldn't go out of business for starters, because everybody would love you and want to use you. But that's the key, is like, that's how you ensure your future, is you ensure that if you went away, people would freak out. That's the definition of a viable, formidable, well-fortified brand and business.
Right. When we were in our prep call, you showed me a prompt, and this is a prompt that you gave it to me, and I actually used it, and it was sick. It was awesome. I loved what you did. But basically, this prompt, I'll just explain it really quick, and then I want you to talk a little bit about it. But this is a prompt where you can put your website into this prompt. This is a ChatGPT. Did you build a custom GPT for this, or is it just a prompt?
No, I just went in. I spent a lot of time kind of asking ChatGPT. Here's the funny part. I just thought, gosh, here it is going to be 2026. This will probably be the year where AI really starts to take over. There's something like 40% of people are already using it. And on any given day, it's something like 800 to, oh God, I'm not going to get the numbers right, but it's 800 million people use it every day. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And ironically, not ironically, coincidentally, or well worth knowing, it's the people who have more financial kind of wherewithal who are using it more than others. So from a business perspective, those are the types of customers you want to attract.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I was just like, gosh, SEO is, I'm getting a lot of people who are calling going, my SEO is tanking. I'm not getting the results I used to get.
What's going on?
What is going on? And I just thought, I wonder if it's because people are searching more on ChatGPT or whatever. So I went into ChatGPT and I said, how can you tell me, how would I figure out if my website is tuned up to be discovered by ChatGPT or by an AI? And it said, well, and I was like, okay, that's a lot it was like pages of like, I'm like, okay, great. If I were going to go into ChatGPT and ask it to review my site for surfaceability, what would the prompt be?
Got it.
Keep in mind this and 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 this. And it spit out about a 4-page prompt where all you have to do is put your website in the middle. And then there's a plus on it where you can put your competitors and it will weigh how good you are against your
competitors. Okay.
And
so hold on, let me just make sure I'm clear on this. So basically you created this prompt, you can copy the prompt, and we'll put a link in the description here. So if somebody wants to get your prompt, they can send you an email or fill out a form and get it. But you take this prompt. This is what I did. I took the prompt. I put my social practice in there. I put a couple of dental practices in there, and it analyzes the site. It scores it according to readability, meaning like, is your schema even working? Like, is it even readable? One. But the coolest part of it was like it said, look, this is the commoditized language that you are using in your site that you should not use. You should change that, or here are some questions you should ask yourself to change the words that you're using on your site that will help to start differentiating you. It was actually showing me how to move from this product central, unique selling proposition stuff to an emotional presentation.
Yeah.
And it was awesome, dude. It was great.
It's pretty cool. And I think a lot of people are starting businesses around this. Maybe I'm an idiot because I'm giving it to people, but at least, I'm trying to earn people's appreciation so that that I can do the bigger work of making sure that they are well positioned for as AI becomes more and more prominent, because there are a lot of Band-Aid fixes. And, if you looked at this search or this prompt and you did it, you'd probably end up Band-Aid fixing your site. And there's so much more that can be done. There's so much more you can do to fortify your business and brand. But this is a good way for people to kind of go, okay, I see how things are changing based on real world, my stuff, how it's expressed. And, there's machine comprehension, machine trust, brand meaning differentiation, technical extractability. What is the conversion when AI, and I'm just reading a little bit, sends a warm but skeptical visitor? It's wizardry what this shit does. It's amazing.
It's freaking crazy. Yeah.
And it gives
I can't tell you how hard it is to take a business that's a commoditized type business, okay, and like rethink from the ground up the message architecture of how you should present a dental practice to their community.
Yeah.
It's so freaking hard.
Yeah.
Dentists don't know how to do it. And so what was so interesting about this prompt is that it just gave you very specific examples of how you should start shifting the way you talk about yourself, which from our conversation, I would imagine just totally is like great context fodder for the AI search engines to create meaning.
Absolutely. It's kind of like, I'm trying to think of an analogy here. And I'm not doing a good job of it, but it's essentially all the things. Let's say you want to open up a hot rod shop in a town. You can either take the time to understand all the different things that hot rod buyers care about, craft of how it's built, engine size, tires, rims, all those little things. Or you can just say, we sell hot rods.
Yeah.
And then they're going to come in and go, yeah, but you don't seem to be caring about this and this and this. These are things I really care about. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
So nowadays they're getting a peek inside behind the curtain of all the things you do and care about. And they're looking for that proof. And that's what AI helps them surface. SEO doesn't do that.
Yeah. So I think a good starting point for anybody watching this podcast is there's a few things that I would recommend people to do. Number one, get your book. Number two, let's give this prompt to the watchers, whoever's viewing. So we'll put a link in here so people can get the prompt, take their website, put their website in, run it, and then get this output of problems in terms of AI readability. And then you also have a newsletter, do you not?
I do. And with the link to get the prompt, you have to put in your email, and that will subscribe you to my newsletter, which you can unsubscribe from if you don't want it. But I call it oxygen because I want it to be very valuable to people. I don't want it to just be, I'm keenly aware that everybody has a limited amount of time and attention they can focus on anything. It comes out every Friday morning. I have a main article, which is something about marketing or branding or AI. And then I kind of have a little bit of fun with it where little historical things, like the last one I sent out was, is your dog right or left-handed or right or left pawed? Just kind of a funny thing, and how to tell, I put, I feature one of my TikToks on there as one of my better viewed ones that you could watch or not. And I do a thing called Brain Candy, which is, a little story about the history of something or why certain things. So I try to make it enriching and interesting so that for the weekend, if you're at a party, you could say, I heard the dog, here's how you know how, it's something that adds value to people's lives. But it also gives you really strong point of view and information about marketing and about AI and about how things are changing. And sometimes there's industry things that come out that spark, I try to write it by Wednesday, but sometimes it'll be like Thursday night and I'll be like, oh, this just happened. Holy crap.
Put it in there. Okay.
So it's a worthwhile, and I hope it's growing. So that's a good sign. So
good. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, Reid, and sharing some of your gems. And I would encourage everybody to get his book, get the prompt, get on his newsletter, and follow you, because you're definitely, I listen to a lot of people talk about AI search and branding and that kind of stuff. And you just have a really great, unique, dialed in perspective. So I really want to tell you thanks for coming on the podcast today.
Well, thank you for having me, Adrian. I appreciate it. And thanks for reaching out. And I'd love to be of service to whomever might need it. ReidHolmes.com is my site. I do speaking. I just did a TEDx last Friday, by the way. And a lot of other things you find on the site. So there's some freebies there.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Adrian.
Thanks for listening to Byte Size Podcast. Tune in to stay up to date with everything dental AI and tech